So I got my cats back. I know a lot of you guys were asking, but they're here. Now, as I got home, there was no furniture, so I put all of my clothes, all of the clean clothes that I have in one bag, and the cat decided to go into the bag and take a big stocko. You know, like to show how much it missed me. To show how much, right? So that was unfortunate. Still like the first furniture that I'm going to buy when my AdSense money comes in. I'll buy a cat 3 and probably put it like behind me so you guys can see the cats like before. And yeah, like a lot of you were asking about my cats. Now let's talk about what's important. Let's talk about Star Wars. And as you can see, I chose the color purple because it belongs to the lightsaber of one of the most powerful Force users in the galaxy before Star Wars got diverse. Mace Windu. I really like that character, honestly. And we're going to talk about not the movie itself. No, there's this YouTuber by the name of Star Wars Girl, right? And she's an upstarting YouTuber, like she just started out, and you can see that she's in that stage where she's adorable in her innocence, in her naivete. And you can see that she talks like this, which shows that she's got a lot of passion, right? Like, when someone talks like that about entertainment, it shows that they're very passionate, right? And it's a little bit unfortunate to see how she's getting attacked. Like apparently she's getting what do the left death threats? She's getting death threats. Why is she getting death threats? Well, she's getting death threats because she doesn't like the way things are going with the Captain Marvel movie. You have to like Captain Marvel, because if you don't, people will hate you. And I don't think a lot of people really understand why this is, right? Because this goes a little bit weird. Like when I grew up, like if you didn't like a movie, people wouldn't want to punch you. You know, it's like, okay, you don't like the movie. Like now, if you didn't like the correct football team, then that was a different argument. But with movies, it was like, okay, you don't like it. Nowadays, there seems to be like a massive backlash if you don't like the correct movies. And there's even backlash if you like the incorrect ones. Which again, Star Wars Girls is... So why is this a thing, right? Well, first of all, let's talk a little bit about Captain Marvel so we can understand why this is. Captain Marvel is Marvel's attempt to push a female character onto the mainstream. And it's not just any female character, right? Because they don't just want to push an attractive lady like DC did with Wonder Woman. No. They want to fight gender stereotypes. And by fighting gender stereotypes, they want to take a female character and give her the gender stereotype of a man. And if you read the comic books, you'll see that even the depiction of Captain Marvel highlights this, like broad shoulders, very small haircut, very masculine features, like strong jaw. And all of this is done on purpose, right? And they want to push this onto the public, and they want the public to like it. Turns out the public doesn't buy it, which is why I think it have over 4 reboots so far. Like the comic book keeps going bankrupt, people don't buy it, and they're like, okay, take it from the top, issue number 2. And then it's like number 3, number 4, oh, we're cutting it off, restart, issue number 1. It is ridiculous, right? And it's very interesting because if you look at Marvel, the company, they don't really have like strong independent female superheroes like DC does. DC's got like Wonder Woman, Catwoman, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn. You know, they got like a really long array of female superheroes. With Marvel, their female superheroes either come in a group, like the X-Men, you know, they have very strong characters there, like Kitty or Storm, Mystique, or my favorite, before they nerfed the boobies, what's her name, Rogue? But other than that, no, like the only other female superheroes that they got are like spin-off of male superheroes. So it's like, oh, Spider-Gwen, Gwenpool. Miss Iron Man, Ironheart. Man, I love the name Ironheart. Isn't that like, it means a person with her heart closed, like an emotionless person. Like that's a villain name, Ironheart. And by the way, if you look at her origin story, like this is, I'm not even making it up, right? So she's a black girl that is like Iron Man, and her origin story is that she stole material. Black woman steals, right? In order to make her idol suit. It was just, anyway, right? So they're trying to now push a female character. They noticed, oh, well, we got this thing like Miss Marvel. Right? It's a standalone character. They found her, and now it's like giving it to the public. Here, take it. But I genuinely think that the movie is going to be bad. It's going to be awful. I would be surprised if it's mediocre. Right? Like that would shock me. And I'm telling you why this is. The reason this is because this is a marketing campaign that progressives do every single time that they know a movie is shtapo. And the marketing campaign goes like this. Someone, usually from the cast, or maybe the director, or some actress, they're going to step up and they're going to say something outrageous. Usually insult a big chunk of the fan base. They will say that, oh, this movie is like very feminist, this movie is going to teach and educate people about the struggle of women, it's going to have representation. They're also going to take jabs at the old fan base, right? So it's going to cause this controversy. Now, as the controversy builds, and you got people on the internet that get upset, and they say that they're going to boycott the movie, usually an actress, sometimes a gay man will come up and they will say that they got harassment on Instagram, they got harassment on Twitter, and they're shutting down their Twitter account, right? And when that happens, you have all the journalists and all of the PR machine that they're now pushing and saying, oh, we have to stand up against the misogynism in the industry. We need to take it to the misogynists, right? And then you got like all these articles coming up and praising the movie and just doing sponsored content basically for the movie while talking about crushing the descent into the fan base. And the way they're trying to sell the movie, the way they're actually trying to sell it is that the reason the movie is doing bad is because misogynists don't want to buy it, right? So if you hate misogynists, if you're a true social justice activist, if you're a patriot, basically, you need to go and purchase the movie. Even if the movie isn't good, it's irrelevant at this point, right? Because what you're doing is you're supporting the company. You're supporting the poor woman that got virtually assassinated off of the Twitter, the actress, right? In the case of Marvel, I don't think anyone left yet. Like I was waiting for an actress to shut down her Twitter or social media or something. That didn't happen. But you did see like a lot of journalists just propping up this movie, just already complaining, it's getting reviewed bombed and something. It's like, well, what did you expect? Like you have an actress having very strong vocal opinions saying that this movie is not for men. And if that's the case, complaining about, there's too many white male critics. It's like, okay, well, if that's the case, why not start your own criticism? Like you can start a blog or a website and start criticizing. There's nothing stopping you. But the whole issue with it is that I understand that as a straight white man, I can't go to see that movie because I would take away the space from a person of color. I would take the space away from a woman. And that would be horrible. That would be horrible. Why would I do something like that? Can you imagine, right? So no, I will definitely stay home. And hopefully women or people of color from Romania are going to watch that movie because it's for them. It's not for me. It's not for me, so what can I do? I'll pass. But here's the thing, right? I genuinely think that the movie is going to be really bad. I think it's going to be one of the worst Marvel movies that has ever came out. And because of this, they're going to say, the movie is actually good, but people just hated it because of, misogyny or whatever, right? So that's like how they're trying to deflect. And I think, again, like the whole controversy is made up so that they don't address why the movie is bad, so that they don't talk about it. And it's also like the idea of the PR campaign that people used to have, like even bad publicity is good publicity. Maybe that worked during Michael Jackson, but now with the internet, it doesn't work anymore. Like bad publicity is bad publicity. If you insult the fan base, if you get woke, you get broke. So this is like one of the reasons that they're doing this. This is why I genuinely think that Brie Larson is going around and is disrespecting the community and is talking shit about white men. It's part of a PR campaign, right? Like this is organized because you have seen it happening with female Ghostbusters. You have seen it happening with so many movies in the past that it's so blatantly copy paste. It's like a cookie cutter thing that I can't see it any way either than this. Now, with that said, there are people who are outside of the PR campaign that don't know what's going on. And these are some of the critics. Now, you need to understand, the critics, almost all of them from mainstream publications, they're into social justice. They're very far left, right? Now, social justice is an ideology that doesn't really sell. Like, if you make a website just where you only like talk about social justice, you're not going to get a lot of traffic. So what they try to do is they try to push their opinions, to push their ideology into something that's popular and use it like a Trojan horse in order to serve it to people. If you listen to what the critics talk about, like when they're writing articles, they say that movies are meant to educate people, right? Like video games are meant to educate. It's like, no, they're made for entertainment, right? So Star Wars Girl is looking at the movie from the entertainment perspective. Like she's looking at how it's advertised, she's looking at how the movie is being portrayed, and she's like, well, that's not very entertaining for me. But the critic is looking at it as if it's gospel, right? Like it's something that the masses need to learn. It's supposed to teach the masses and to, educate them on how to be good feminists, how to be good allies, how to fight gender stereotypes, right? They want to subvert society, subvert the expectations. By the way, in other words, subvert the expectations. Doesn't that mean disappointment? Like, is it, no? Like subverting an expectation, doesn't that translate into disappointment? I don't know, my English language isn't that very good, being Romanian. What? Why you do this? Why you do this? It's a new chair. It's a new chair. Why you do? Anyway, back to the conversation. So when Star Wars Girls is disrespecting, right? She is tarnishing the good reputation of Miss Marvel. What she's actually doing is, imagine, she thinks she's criticizing entertainment, but for the critic, it's like you would be disrespecting the Gospel of Matthew. It's like you're committing heresy. You're basically telling them that their ideology is shit. That's literally what you're doing. It's like going to a Christian man and saying God isn't real, or saying that I didn't really like the Gospel of Luke. I think the Gospel of Luke is really bad. I think it needs to be removed from the Bible. It's going to cause a little spark in his brain, and it's going to get him to twitch. You don't do that. You don't do that. So you need to understand how they view it. Like the critics and the people that are trying to push social justice in entertainment, they view this as a battlefield. Like for them, it's a cultural war. For them, it's like, holy shit, we're losing Star Wars. Oh my God, we're losing Marvel. Like they had so many defeats lately with female Ghostbusters, with and now to add insult to injury, they're making a remake with female Ghostbusters without social justice. And if that sells, like that's going to be a really slap in the face to them, right? So they're looking at this like it's a war room, and the different provinces are movies and pieces of entertainment, and after so many losses they need a win. Like they so need a win, they crave for it, right? And here you are coming on YouTube, a woman nonetheless, because that's something else that pisses them. It's like, oh, this is a feminist movie, and you have like a woman. This is like the Catholic Church trying to push for something, and you have a cardinal coming out and being against the Catholic Church. Do you understand why that would be a problem? Right? Because it's one thing when one of the plebs is talking and it's like, oh, the fuck does and it's another thing when like a representative of that institution is coming. And it's the same for them. Like they're saying this is what women want, and here you have like a woman that's quite pretty and adorable, mind you, in the way she's speaking, and she's like, no, I think this movie is shit. You need to be taken out. Do you understand this? Like you need to be suppressed. Like this lady is lucky that she's got like what, a couple of tens of thousands of subscribers. Like if she would have had 1 million subs, like, oh my fucking God, like you do not understand. Did you notice that, by the way? Did you notice that on YouTube? Very few people who have over 1 million subs are anti-social justice, and then they have like channels where they're explicitly anti-social justice. Rarely happens, doesn't it? Why do you think that is? Like, did you notice how fast Jontron went like beep? Like Jontron came out and he was in support of Donald Trump, and he was in support of right-wing politics, and he didn't like social justice, and immediately like they made sure that like that's the thing. If you have over 1 million subs on YouTube, either you're neutral and you shut the fuck up and you keep your head down, and even then Even then, is that? But if you go against it, it's like, oh, you don't like Star Wars. Oh my fucking god, you know, like Jesus. So no, that's my opinion with it. And this is why she's getting the death threats, and this is why she's getting all of the mean comments, and this is why she's being treated like a heretic, you know, like a witch that needs to be burned at the stake. But it's okay. I mean, you get used to it. It's part of being on YouTube. You get to see the tolerant and the people championing feminism harass a woman because she's womaning wrong, huh? Excellent. So yeah, check her channel out. I think she's a nice upstarting YouTuber, and people should give her a view. And also feel free to subscribe to me if you haven't. I could really use more of you guys in my community, and yeah, PayPal, Subscribestar, blah blah blah. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I'll see you all later tonight at the game of Dungeons and Dragons with an actual feminist, Christy Winters.